Hey, Bill O'Reilly here with a YouTube bonus about my interview with Donald Trump on Wednesday night, which was broadcast on News Nation. I hope you saw it, big town hall. If you are a premium member to BillO'Reilly.com, and if you're not, you might want to check that out, get a free book. It will enhance your life. You know that this was a rollicking affair, and premium members can see it in a 30-minute cut down. So that's a good watch. Now, my main theme was to ask the president, not about some illegal alien who might have been mistakenly deported, not about something he said 5 years ago, none of that, all right? Which is what the pinheads at the networks do. They, gotcha, trying to get him, trying to embarrass him. We don't do that. The main thing I wanted to talk to President Trump about was you, the American worker, the honest American person. You have a right to be fearful, and many millions are because of the tariffs, all right? And the stock market crazy gyrations. People are afraid. That can lead to significant economic decline, okay? The president is steadfast in saying, no, this is going to help the economy, and it's going to boom. It's just a matter of when. But that's the key word, when. So if it takes too long, the economic damage is done, and he's not going to be able to unravel it. I'll use Joe Biden as a example. So when the prices went crazy, up more than 9% on food and fuel, and insurance was even worse, Joe Biden kept going, Bidenomics is working. You're just too stupid to know it. No, Bidenomics is great. And Americans, that's when they turned against him. They're going, no, it's not great. And you saying it's great makes you look like a boob, okay? And dishonest to boot. Bidenomics not working. We're not at the point where we could say that about the tariff stuff yet because it's not defined. Bidenomics was defined because those prices came in and they held for more than, 2 years? But okay. So my main thrust on Wednesday when I interviewed the president for News Nation was about that. And I understand economics. I understand it takes a while, but I also understand there's urgency here. So let me run a clip and then we'll discuss what the president said. Go. But do you have a timeline yourself? Do you say, look, it's got to stabilize by this time, fall? Because remember, if it doesn't stabilize this time next year, Democrats may win the midterms. So there is risk here, big risk.
That's true. It is true. And I just think that I'll be able to convince people how good this is. This is what other countries have done to us. We've been the laughing stock and the whipping post. We've been ripped off by every country practically in the world, just ripped off on trade. And by the way, ripped off with NATO and the military too, because we supported NATO to a tune that was almost, at one point until I became president, it was close to 100%. We were spending. So we're spending on NATO to protect Europe, and then on Europe, they're ripping us off on trade. But if you look at the European Union, they've been brutal to the United States. We lose $300 billion, $350 billion a year to Europe. They don't take our cars. We take 10 million of their cars.
That's getting better,
They don't take our farm products.
Right.
We take their farm products. And it has to change.
All right.
So,
okay,
but I'm willing to be the one that does that, but it has to change. And I've been given a lot of credit.
Well, one thing is that none of the other modern presidents would take this on because it's too risky. So from Eisenhower on, nobody would do it because they didn't want an upheaval in the economy, which is what we're seeing now. So President Trump is a disruptor. Now, he's disrupting not only capitalism and economics in the United States, but the liberal culture, the woke stuff, and immigration. So he's disrupting all three of those things at once. Now, the American public are behind him on the border and immigration, most of us, all right? And on the woke stuff, you know, the trans men playing against the women, he has a solid majority backing him. But when you mess with people's money, when their hard-earned money that they've invested goes down, that's a whole different emotional spectrum there. That's right where you live, right where I live, okay? And whether it works or not will define Donald Trump's legacy. If the economy does bounce big and he gets the trade deals he wants, he'll go down into Reagan territory as far as presidential greatness is concerned. Because Reagan disrupted the Soviet Union. You might remember that the left-wing press hated Ronald Reagan. They kept pounding him because he was spending so much money on defense, and which ultimately bankrupted the Soviet Union, so it collapsed. And Reagan was like, I'm breaking these guys. That's what Trump is doing to the economy. He goes, I'm going to break this corrupt system. I'm going to bring all this investment to the United States, and the trade deals are not going to be corrupt anymore. Big, big thing. If he can do it, though, he ascends. Now, there were some other disruptors in the presidency, but not many. Andrew Jackson. When he was president in the 1820s, there was a big controversy about national bank in Washington controlling the currency or each state having its own. And Jackson didn't want the national bank, he hated it. He goes, no, it gives too much power to the federal government. He wanted the states to regulate. Huge, huge brawl, okay? And ultimately, Jackson lost. The national feds took over, but not until he was out of office, but it was, boy, was it bloody. Lincoln was a major disruptor because when Abraham Lincoln came in, the Civil War was a fait accompli. Now, Lincoln could have surrendered to the South and said, you know, you can pretty much do what you want. Don't fight, don't secede, and I'll let you do it. That's what Buchanan did, the worst president ever, before Lincoln. But Lincoln came in and said, no. You know, if we have to fight, we're going to fight for the Union. And that's what happened. That was a major disruption, obviously, in the country. More than 1 million people were killed in that war. All right? So then, after Lincoln, we didn't have, you know, U.S. Grant was a little bit of a disruptor, but not much. And then they went to Teddy Roosevelt in the beginning of the 20th century, and he was the only other president beside Trump that took on the capitalistic system. At the time, the robber barons, Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, these guys, the big industrials, were running the entire economy, paying American workers nothing. And American workers were dying on the job in record numbers because there were no protections. Where do you see? I got a big chapter on that in Confronting Evil, which is out in September, about these robber barons, how bad they were. And Teddy Roosevelt was appalled. He went after them. The trust buster. Bloody. Because these guys were billionaires. They tried to bribe Teddy. They tried to do everything to him. Teddy beat them. But again, it took a while. And it was nasty. Okay? Then we went to FDR, Franklin Roosevelt. He was a disruptor because he had to be. The Depression wiped out the U.S. economy, and people were starving in the streets. And he had to set up a whole different federal system that would help these people, that disrupted but he succeeded, FDR. And then World War II, that wasn't so much of a disruption. We had to fight there. We were attacked. But after Roosevelt, Truman disrupted a little bit, but not much. And then there were none other till Trump. That's why the American people are so stunned in the first 100 days, because they've never seen anything like this in their lifetime. Most people were not alive when FDR was in office. And when Trump comes in, he blows everything up. Culture, border, and economy in 100 days. It's like, boom. Now, final thing, why is he doing it? Shock and awe. It's always worked for him. Worked on a border. Trump came in, executive order, threatened Mexico. Mexico put the troops on the south side of the border. Boom. Shut down. shock and awe. No negotiation, no new law. Boom. Trump believes that shock and awe works for him. He could be wrong on the tariffs. If he is, then his legacy is destroyed. He knows that. I can assure you, because I do speak to the president. But he is firmly, and people believe what they want to believe, I know, but boy, this guy is 100% in that he's going to win this tariff war. Thank you for watching this bonus on YouTube. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I hope you go to my website, BillO'Reilly.com. It's great. You'll love it. And sign up for premium membership. It will enhance your life big time. And we will see you again soon. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.